Hey guys, this is Jeff, Swing Trade Warrior with WarriorTrading.com, here with our weekly closed swing trade recap. We had another amazing week. We'll tally up our winners here, and we'll go over all the trades from the week. Still trading, unclosed trades 100% in June. We're doing really well. Want to announce on Monday, June 15th, we are hosting another free chat Monday. So if you're interested in checking us out, learning our day trading strategies and our swing trading strategies, the chat room will be open during the entire market day. Stop in, say hello, ask any questions. We'll also be hosting a Trade Ideas webinar noon Eastern in the chat room as well. And we're going to go over the scanners and how we use scanner technology to locate stocks. So again, that'll be this Monday all day, and the Trade Ideas webinar will be in our chat room at noon on Monday as well. Go over to WarriorTrading.com, click the link, free live chat, and you'll be in the room. If you guys have any questions, you can email me, Jeff, at WarriorTrading.com. Having said that, let's get into the trades. Okay, first trade I want to talk about from this week is going to be on GoPro. We traded GoPro for a long entry on this. Our initial entry on this was 60. Let's see, it was 59.20. Right about there. Well, it's close enough. I was looking for breakout. I used the TAS market profile indicators, and I used the TAS boxes here. And I'm looking for a breakout over this resistance area at 60.43. So I started scaling into the trade so that if we have a breakout, I would have a nice low average for a move through it. And if we tested the breakout area and pulled back, as we did here, we could consolidate along it for a while. And instead of holding this trade at a loss, I'd be holding it for a winner, looking to scale in. So we got long on this trade on June 5th. The next day, we got continuation. It spiked up. GoPro put in a high of 61.23, but then it pulled back down. Never held that resistance spot. Couldn't close above it. So we held the trade another day, and after hours, before the market opened up the next day, we caught a bit of news on a downgrade that GoPro had received, and it gapped down on us 2 points. Now, we hadn't scaled into this trade yet because we didn't get a confirmed move over the breakout spot, so we're still holding half size, and we still have much more maneuverability in this trade than if we were holding a full position. It gapped down on us 2 points, and I was holding 500 shares, so I was down a little over $1,000 on this trade at one point. During the morning trading, GoPro started recovering, and another news piece was released by Piper Jaffray saying that they were defending GoPro's stock price and saying, reiterating their buy rating and saying that it's undervalued at these prices, and that caused an intraday squeeze. So I bought another 500 shares on the way back up intraday, and I lowered my average to 58.20 or 58.02, excuse me. Right there. We caught middle toward the end of the day, we caught a little spike above, all the way up to 58.43. I was able to get out of this trade for 8-cent winner at 58.10. It ended up being an $80 winner. I was down $1,100 on it in the morning, so we timed the reversal with the news just perfectly. That was more of a get lucky situation. I was happy to be out of that trade for just a little bit better than break even. The next couple days, it's kind of sold off and been testing this 48 or 58.5 level. Not interested in the trade anymore. It's got negative news out now, so I'm not long biased. And we moved on to other trades. SNSS caught a monster gap up on this trade. At one point, it was up like 25 cents. Our long entry on this was over 255. If you look at the chart here, you can see pretty clearly that there was a test of this 255 resistance area on the daily once back here, once right here, once right here, once right here, and then finally it broke out. We were testing this area for quite a while. I was alerted to this trade off of my small cap swing trade scanner. Put in a high relative volume move and I put my buy or I put my buy order in at 255, and as soon as 255 started printing, and it looked like it was going through with volume, I executed the order, and we caught a spike up on the first day, nothing major, to 265, and the next day, today, Friday, we caught a move all the way up to 315. Now I took 5,000 shares on this trade, and I was stoked in the morning to see this thing trading up 25% at one point, all the way up to 315. So they're in the middle of a conference right now somewhere in Europe, Germany, I think, and there's a lot of speculation about some of their therapies and drugs, not drugs, but some of their treatments. And so it was very bullish in the morning, but as the conference went on, news was released that maybe it wasn't so great or it was overstated, and it ended up selling off the rest of the day. But we don't care because we locked in our profits starting at 295, and we started scaling out. We had people in the chat room who nailed this almost at the top here, and they were in at 255, just enormous winners. When you have a $2 stock, you can take a lot of shares without spending a ton of capital, and if you catch a move, that's 60 cents, 50, 60 cents, you have a chance to do some serious damage. And that's what we did. We put ourselves in a position by trading a strong stock, popped up on some potential news. It ended up selling off, but it didn't matter because we had the opportunity to profit when it mattered, and we made good money on it. Similarly, MXWL, I've been watching this. I got alerted to this yesterday off my swing scanner, small cap swing scanner. They just recently restructured their debt and worked out a deal for their credit line with Wells Fargo, as well as they completed an offering for some shares. So they're getting their finances in order. Now, I was watching this for I was alerted to it yesterday. You can see this higher, the ascending volume pattern is what we like to see, increasing relative volume at a breakout spot, which shows that buyers are coming in to take control. We got candle over candle continuation. Each day we're making new highs, and we're closing above the old ones. So let me get this out of here. So I was watching this for a long entry over the 20 EMA, and it was the high of day also right at 535, 536. So looking for a move, or looking for an entry between 536 and 540 on this trade. During the morning open range, this thing popped right up to 545 while I was day trading. We were day trading ESI today, and within the time that I was trading that, this thing had moved. I thought I missed my entry opportunity. It came back, it tested the open price, and it moved right back up to that 545 level. I was watching it to see what would happen when it was a high day for the second time. I took a few thousand shares, and it ended up breaking over 550 pretty quickly. One of the important things to know here, I was looking for that 560 area on Maxwell right here to break. On the daily chart, this is actually a level of resistance, and I'll show you what I mean. Previous support will often act as resistance, and right here at the 560 area, we have a nice little base, a move back up, a test of that base again. So basically a little double bottom before it finally broke over here on weakness. So we know that previous support becomes resistance, vice versa. Coming up at that 560 area, that's what I wanted to see break. I considered scaling in more in this trade. I didn't. And I was already pretty exposed. I'd made a ton of money this week on our other swing trades, and it was Friday. Fridays tend to be a little bit choppier, and the volume in the market tends to be a little lighter. This one just worked out that it would have been a great spot to add over that 560 area. Instead, that's fine. We had a 545 average. We broke that 560 area, and we got a push to 570. Up 25 cents on the trade. I only took 3,000 shares here. I was definitely undersized on the trade. Like I said, I was looking to add to it, but I never pulled the trigger on it. I hesitated, and it left without me. Anyways, it pumped up. I sold a third at 570. It came back down to a low of about 554. and then it slowly creeped the rest of the day back over that 570 area. Then I sold another third at 588, and I finally said I'm selling the last third, holding 1,000 shares. I sold it at 595, just under high a day. There's really no point in holding such small size. When a stock makes a huge move, in this case, it was a 10% move intraday. I just assume take my profits. If you look at the daily chart here, we're coming up on an area of contention, which is this long yellow line right here at 609. That's what the TAS indicator, TAS market map, is telling us that at 609 we're going to see a ton of competing buying and selling volume, and so I don't want to be holding while we consolidate and make the next move up. I just wanted my 5 to 10%. We got it on the trade. More than happy with that. Also, we're coming up on the 50 moving average right here. This white line also at $6.01, and not to mention it's also a whole dollar level, which is going to act as psychological resistance as well. So we have a few things going against us here that might make it a little more difficult for this to push through 6. But then again, it could pop right up. Next stop is going to be the high from back here on 514 at 620, and then move up to 650, and then potentially it'll move, to 694, $7, somewhere in there. Keep in mind, on average, swing trades generally tend to run 3 to 5 days before they take a relief. So in these 3 days, the past 3 days, we have a nice ascending volume, but we have put in just about 15% of a move, all the way down from 480 to almost $6 today. So I guess it was almost 20% of a move. So really, in my opinion, this is overextended, and especially given the fact that we're coming up on resistance, at $6, and the moving average is there, I would expect this to maybe test, maybe break, but probably fail, flag out for a while, and make a next leg up. So we'll keep it on the master watch list for another opportunity, but not really interested in it beyond today. We made our 10% on it, and more than pleased with that. Okay, the last trade I want to talk about is THLD. Okay, so THLD was alerted on, let's see, we took this on the 11th, so it was alerted on the 10th, right here. Why did this hit my small cap swing scanner on June 10th? Well, it's hard to see down here because the volume when it's pretty light. 406,000 shares traded on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we got 502,000 shares. So we had some ascending volume, and we had a nice big green bar breaking the top of the previous candle, putting in a candle over candle move. It's been trading in this range for a while. Oops. It's been trading in this range for a while, and put in a high volume move to the top of that range. So I was watching it for breakout over the top of that range. We also have area of contention with the yellow line from the market map. We have the yellow 200 moving average. We have the 20 EMA, and we also have the 50 EMA. So we have all the moving averages. We're under a whole dollar, and we're also at a major area of contention. So there's all kinds of resistance areas here that if we can get through and the pattern can hold, I think we'll see a nice squeeze and continuation move to the upside. And sure enough, we got in at 393 over all the moving averages yesterday, and then today, Friday, we got a nice push up to 413. I took 5,000 shares. I sold 2,000 at 413 for a quick 4 or 5% just to pay myself, and I'm holding the other 3,000 over the weekend. And you can see we came up and we tested this area of resistance. Back here in middle of May, we tested this 410 area a couple times. We tested it and failed today. Now that it's been breached, it should be a little easier to get through if we get continuation to the upside. And look for a move to the 445 area following that. Let me zoom this chart out and see what else we can see here. Yeah, after the 445 area, we look good for a move to 460, and if we can get over 460, then this thing can just keep going. But it's already put in 3 green days. Remember I said the average trends tend to last 3 to 5 days, especially when they're breakouts. Here's one right here. We have a nice breakout, lasted 3 days, flagged out sideways, it just drifted higher. Here's a little run that lasted 5 or 6 days. Here's one that lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to be hard pressed to find more green days than 5 in a row on most charts, unless the market is just booming or there's some sort of catalyst in play. Generally, you're going to find 3 to 5 days is the average mover. So we're on day 3, and we're looking to squeeze 2 more days of hopefully 5% moves out of it. Would be great, but we'll see what happens next week. Oh, there's one more trade I got to talk about. Excuse me, DYAX, my nemesis. So this trade I was watching when the market was selling off and testing support. Let's look at the market real quick. So, last week started this big sell-off in the S&P all the way from the 212 figure down to 207.60, which is identified here by the support line. You can see this pretty clearly if I put in some lines that there's a clear support area somewhere along this blue line here. Yeah, we get some wicks to the downside, but for the most part, the closes on all these candles will respect that support area. Going all the way back, this thing will go back for a while. So, previous resistance back here, it failed it, broke it, failed it, broke out over it. So, when previous resistance breaks and a stock comes back down to test that previous resistance, it will become support. And here it's been acting as support. And you can see we came down, we broke the 20 and the 50 moving average. The sell-off was accelerated, and the market tapped that 207.60 support area, and it bounced right back up. So it's moved up, and then Friday we got a close. It came down a little bit, and again it's testing that 50 moving average. So the market needs to get over this resistance area at 212.20 before we move on to new highs. You can see that red line there. Taz is telling us that that's the breakout spot for the market, and we know that this 207 area is the support area. So in terms of the S&P, that's, I don't know, about 50 points or so. It's 5 points on the SPY roughly, and I was looking for trades to short during this downtrend, because once we broke this 50 support area, the next logical area that we would test is the 207.50, and then after that it would be down to the 204.50 area, right where the 200 moving average is. You can see down here, once we did break that 207.50 area, 204.50 became support. So looking at DYAX as a weak stock, it's actually a really nice chart for the year. It's been steadily drifting up from 12, 13 bucks. It hit a high of 30, and it failed to make new highs, and it's been selling off ever since, just trading sideways in a pretty big range. I was looking for this to move down with the market, as it has a huge gap to fill. And let's see, right here we have a support area that anything below tends to open up into this gap, to down here somewhere. So that's about a 6-point gap. And we got short on this trade. This is the day it was alerted. It was alerted on this big red candle where it bounced off the support area just above the opening to the gap. We got we got short on this trade right here on this day once it broke support. It made a new low for this entire range, and it immediately squeezed and popped right back up. And now it's kind of bear flagging. My stop on this trade is the high of the day of the alert, so about 25.71 or so. We haven't hit it. We came close today, but the fact that we aren't seeing big moves to the upside here, and we are trading under moving averages or between moving averages, means there's going to be a lot of volatility here. If we stop out, we stop out. It's going to rely, we're going to have to see what the market does. But ultimately, I think this thing is going to go lower. In the short term, I don't know, if it's going to happen before we get taken out of the trade. And so an important thing to understand about this is I obviously do care. I don't like to lose, but it happens, right? There's no trader out there that has a 100% win rate. It's not possible. It's never happened, or that person would be the richest person in the world. So knowing that, we know we're going to take losses, and if you're a full-time trader like I am, you consider it a business expense, right? You got to take losses to find your winners. And so rather than get emotionally caught up in being down in a trade and having it move against us and wondering if I should stop out, I had a lot of people come to me after this trade and they said, hey, I'm down on the trade, should I stop out? But every time I do, then it turns around and reverses and leaves without me. And I say this because you're trading without a rule. You're trading without a strategy, without a plan. I'm a pattern-based trader, so I let the stock do what it's going to do. I set my rules up for the trade ahead of time. I know my stop is going to be the high of the alert, the day of the alert. So that's going to be my exit point to cover my short position. In the meantime, it might trade against me. It can trade sideways, and it can go in our favor. And until it comes time to either start taking profits or to stop out, I'm not really too concerned about it, because I know that when I follow my rules, and I follow my strategy, and I teach this to all my students, I know I'm going to take losers, but I know that 70% of the time I'm profitable, 100% of the time in June so far, you're going to have losers. This might be a loser. This might be my first loser in June, but it's not a big deal, because if I stick to the rules and I stick to the good setups and I just repeat the strategy over and over again, and I rely on my scanner to find me the high quality setups, then I evaluate it manually and I manage my risk appropriately, I'm a profitable trader week after week after week and year after year for the past 7 years now. So, it's very simple. The hardest part people have is letting their emotions, specifically fear and greed, get in the way of their trades. In this particular situation, like I said, I had to counsel some people and talk them off the edge. I can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you what I am going to do, and I can only share with you, what I'm going to do. And one of the things I teach to all my students is that you have to be okay with losses, willing to accept losses. And while we haven't stopped out yet, we're not out of this one yet. I'm not sitting here hoping it goes. I'm not sitting here worried about it, and I'm not checking it more than I'm looking at any of the other positions or other trade opportunities, because I set my orders up and I let the stocks do what they're going to do, and I know that 7 out of 10 times I'm going to be right. So this will be one of the 3 times I'm wrong, and because we're using good risk management and we're finding trades that are on average 2 to 1, 3 to 1 winners, we stay profitable. When I'm hitting 3 to 1 in a week with reward to risk, I can lose 3 trades and win 1 and still break even. So the fact that I win 7 trades and only lose 3 means that I'm profitable. And it's very simple to understand. You write down the rules and you just stick to it. A lot of people have a hard time with that. So that's just my bit of advice. When you get into a trade that goes against you, have a plan and know where you're getting out of the trade at, and know why you're taking the trade, and choose your size accordingly. Have a max loss in place and have a profit target in place, and stick to high probability setups, and you will never have trouble trading. It really is that simple. 80% of our traders are profitable on a regular basis in our room. We do polls all throughout the week, and we have a huge success rate. So, we teach a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, not just how to, trade alerts and setups, but also why we're doing it and the mental and psychological perspectives that go into play when you're trading. And it's had a huge impact on our people, and our community is outstanding, and we've seen a lot of people make money in the past few weeks, especially on these swing trade alerts, because for whatever reason, small caps are hot right now, and we're just getting in some good ones. So a couple months ago it was the mid and large caps that we were nailing. You just go wherever the alerts go, and you trade accordingly. So before I ramble too much further, everybody have a good weekend. Once again, free chat Monday, June 15th. Go to warriortrading.com, click live chat, come on in and say hello. Trade Ideas is doing a webinar about scanner technology, and it's the scanners that Ross uses for day trading and I use for swing trading. So if you guys have any questions, shoot me an email at jeff@warriortrading.com. If you want to get a hold of me on Skype, just search me under Swing Trade Warrior. Other than that, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.